The NFL did not see this coming. Not only did the Dallas Cowboys win in Cleveland against the Browns, they did it in convincing fashion. And the defense was all over the place. They look revamped. They made a lot of moves in the offseason, and it's already paying dividends. So we'll break that down and much more in this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody, to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. Before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and give me your thoughts on the Cowboys' swarming defense on DeShaun Watson and company yesterday. I was very impressed with the win. I'm going to get this out of the way right now. I was very impressed with what I saw. The defense looked great from minute 1 to 60. The intensity was off the charts. The offense did what they had to do, even though they put up the scoreline is a lot more flattering than I think the offense showed yesterday. They're not necessarily world beaters as of yet. That is a strength of the Cowboys. It is their offense. It is the fact that they can beat you in multiple different ways. But yesterday was all about the defense. So let's get straight into it. Let's take a look at the final score, 33-17. And, of course, the picture of Zeke eating. He did a lot of eating yesterday. He looks good, man. Explosive. He was picking up first downs, hurdling someone on the first play of the game. I mean, is this 2016 again? I was very impressed with Zeke. But this is not a Zeke video. This is all about the defense because, man, was I impressed with what I saw yesterday. And let's start with none other than Demarcus Overton in his first game back from an ACL tear, the third-round pick from last year, missed all of last season. He's back, and he announced his presence in a big way yesterday with 11 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 QB hits. This dude is elite and a massive difference maker for this Dallas Cowboys defense. Now, Overton was amazing yesterday, and he definitely showed that athleticism that he possesses at the linebacker position. But there was all this talk about the offense not going to be as good as it was in years past, and maybe that's true. But I think the defense is revamped, and the way that they performed yesterday, I think, is a blueprint for them going forward. They can beat you with their speed on the defensive side of the football, and that's what they did yesterday. DeShaun Watson is not some pocket passing quarterback. He is a guy who can get out of pressure and make things happen with his legs, and the Cowboys just did not allow him to get settled in for 1 second. Let's take a look at Micah Parsons' day that he had yesterday. 9 pressures, the most of any player in week 1. He was all over the place with a sack as well. Just a dominant performance from one of the best defensive players in all of football. Showed off his brilliance yet again. I want to see it more in the playoffs, but yesterday was a great step in the right direction for Micah Parsons, who just has to worry about rushing the passer right now and not about a weak linebacking core in back of him. The Dallas Cowboys, Kalen Carson, 5th rounder, wearing Primetime's number and striking like a cobra. Did the Cowboys do it again? This defense played at a different speed. They absolutely played at a different speed yesterday, and Kalen Carson was another one of those players that was all over the field and just an absolute menace in the secondary. Like, DeShaun Watson was overthrowing everybody, and I don't know if that's just a lack of rhythm. I don't know if that's DeShaun Watson just being washed up, or is it Kalen Carson and Trevon Diggs being in the head of him and making sure that nothing that stays in the field of play is going to be completed. And I think Kalen Carson only allowed 2 completions yesterday. He was just swarming, an absolute ball hawk. Their 5th round pick from this year, just another steal in the draft by the Dallas Cowboys. And the next guy, Eric Kendricks, the quarterback of this defense. A Mike Zimmer guy, the guy that Mike Zimmer brought in to be the leader on this defensive side of the ball, and he showed it yesterday. He had the interception after the tip from Micah Parsons at the line of scrimmage, 6 tackles, and 2 sacks. He was the player of the game, in my opinion. He was another guy that was just all over the place, and the compete level from the Dallas Cowboys defense was just off the charts, and it all starts with their leader, who is Eric Kendricks, who was just fantastic yesterday. I can't say enough about this guy. And then Demarcus Lawrence, another 2-sack day for another Cowboy. gets his second sack of the day. Tank Lawrence, the nickname suits him. And look at that visor. Pretty sweet right there. Pretty nice look. Demarcus Lawrence, very highly paid defensive end, who is one of the unsung heroes on the Cowboys defense as well, because he doesn't get much shine. He's not really a guy that is going to be too flashy, but he's great on the run. And yesterday, when the Browns went pass heavy because they had to, they were down early, Demarcus Lawrence was there and disrupting a lot of action that was going on. So just another fantastic win, 33-17. I feel like it could have even been more. I feel like the Browns could have even gotten less. Like the Cowboys defense kind of took the foot off the gas. A garbage time touchdown. Good for them. They're padding their stats a little bit. The Cleveland, that is, but Dallas deserved that win, and it was a thorough beatdown in Cleveland for a team that went 4-5 on the road last year, that struggled away from the AT&T Stadium. This was a statement win, and put all that garbage aside that this is week 1. It doesn't matter. We know that they're going to choke in the playoffs. Who cares? This was the most dominant road win that I've seen from the Dallas Cowboys in years against a quality opponent. And that's not even an understatement. They were fantastic yesterday. They deserved every bit of that scoreline. And shout out to them. Shout out to them. Enough of this garbage saying that they're going to choke in the playoffs. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Okay, so let's give them their props. They went into Cleveland. They took care of business. They got the Saints next week after they pummeled the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be a tough matchup. The Saints are one of the best teams in the NFC South. It is a weaker division, but it's going to be a tough matchup. And the Cowboys have some tough games this season. They won yesterday, but their schedule going forward is not going to be easy. Okay, so they have to step it up here, and they have to find ways to just continue to win games. You got the Saints next week, you got the Ravens the week after, you got the Giants, and then you got the Steelers, then followed by the Lions, the Niners, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Texans. This is a tough schedule. You got the Bengals later on in the year, the Buccaneers. This is not going to be an easy year for the Dallas Cowboys, but they could not have started off on a better note. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. Shout out to the defense. That was the best performance that I've seen from them in a very long time. So, great to see. Hopefully they can keep it going into next week. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of Cowboys Digest. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm out. Peace.